Hello, welcome to cEDH Budget Brews. I'm Tim, and tonight I'm continuing in my series of beginning cEDH Metabusters. I'm going to talk about Thrasios Tymna Protean Hulk. But before I get started, please check out our Discord and Patreon, and links are in the description below. And if you enjoy and like the content, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. It helps out a lot. It really does. So, without further ado, let's get going. So tonight, I'm going back, and it's going to be a little bit of a kind of just an old tried and true deck, really, honestly. This deck is by Jamaican Dude from Playing with Power. He's a longtime friend of the channel. He's been a co-host a million times. Great guy, great player, and he's really a big Hulk fan. And he recently played this to some relatively good results. He made the final spot. I believe it was the cEDH tournament. And he has been also tearing it up in various ranked ladders. And just, it's been performing really well for him. So what it is it's a Sans Red Protean Hulk deck. Obviously it doesn't have Flash. So there's a little more setup. A little bit more, like the layering's a little bit more complex than what was in the back at towards the end of the Flash Lock days. But this deck really will reward play skill. So the deck is called Hate Bears That Win, and for the most part, you're just gonna see it's a kind of a mid-range ish consult deck that can use Protean Hulk to kind of layer into various essentially Oracle or Labman piles, and then uses some soft reanimator effects to kind of get around it. So that part of the Hate Bear package, which is kind of what gives this deck its like staying power, is it runs things like Dothy, Even Mind Sensor, Archons of Valor's Reach, Archon of Emeria, Collector Oof, Dranith, Op Agent. You know, those all are just like really solid, really well-positioned Hate Bears in the meta right now. And what's nice about this is you've got two really good grind engines in the command zone to help you leverage all of these Hate Bears. You have, you know, like Archon and Aven both have flying. Dothy's got Shadow, so that will help you get your Tymna draws. And then this deck can kind of play pretty well under Rule of Law, because you can kind of set up, kind of slow roll the Hulk a little bit, and then just reanimate it with like a sack outlet on board. And there's a couple of different ways to do that. So the basic pile is to either you basically get Protean Hulk either into play or in your graveyard. Most of the time it's in your graveyard, and then you're going to reanimate it and then sack it. And then you get like Nomad Zenkor, Cephaloid Illusionist to kind of self-mill your library. You can also just get Thassa's Oracle as well, and then just win off of that. So that's your like entry-level Hulk trigger. Then you get a couple of layered piles where you can like do double Hulk, where you play a Body Snatcher to bring the Hulk back, sack it, and then get the rest of the pile. So as far as like being beginner friendly, the deck's got a little bit of a steep curve. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a consult deck. So you do have that. And once you get over that curve, you'll really be able to kind of, it will highly reward your play skill. So one of the biggest kind of secrets with the deck is Academy Rector. Getting a Pattern of Rebirth down here at the bottom. I know that's a little bit kind of all over the place, but so basically what you do is you get the Rector into play. You sack it to any of your several sack outlets that you have. Viscera Seer, Carrying Feeder are the two main ones. You can also like sack it to like Calling of the Weak, or Eldritch Evolution, or Neoform, whatever. And then you get Pattern of Rebirth to go get your Hulk, and then you execute your Hulk pile. Now, what's nice, and one of the big advantages of running Thrasios Tymna, is that you can Neoform and Eldritch Evolution Tymna into Rector to get your Pattern of Rebirth, which will in turn get your Protean Hulk. And then you can also use Thrasios. You can leverage Thrasios by doing the same thing and getting like Labeniac and getting several 3-drops in the deck. But predominantly you're going to use those cards off of Tymna to get the Academy Rector. One card that might seem a little strange in here of note is Volrath's Shapeshifter. So Volrath's Shapeshifter allows you to kind of set up a couple of different survival piles where you just have the Shapeshifter in play, and then you bin the Hulk, and now your Shapeshifter turns into a Protean Hulk. So you can Neoform Thrasios into the Volrath Shapeshifter, and then as long as you have an onboard sack outlet, you can and then assemble your pile. Also, Body Snatcher is a really good one because it'll help you get pieces out of your hand, and it's a reanimation effect. So not only does it enable the double Hulk piles, but it just gets clunky pieces out of your hand. Because one of the worst things with Protean Hulk decks is getting the wrong piece in your hand at the wrong time. Like some of them you can just play out. Like the Encore Illusionist Oracle pile, you can play any of those parts out and you're fine. And then Apprentice Necromancer is kind of another little kind of oddball card that isn't kind of strong, like blatantly obvious. So what this is this will allow you to play it now, and then just, again, the deck kind of wants to slow roll the Hulk pile and then just kind of grind value and use its interaction suite under like the Rule of Law or some of the various different hate bears to kind of grind advantage until it's ready to execute its win. And it also does have a couple of instant speed lines as well that you can leverage because you're using things like Shallow Grave. You also have Necromancy, which can be cast at instant speed. Also, you can play the Academy Rector, and then as long as you have like a sack outlet on board, you could just wait and then sack it, and then execute the entire piles or even double Hulk piles at instant speed under the like a Carrion Feeder or with a Carrion Feeder or Viscera Seer on board. You kind of have your standard blue, like your Sans Red interaction suite. You got like Abrupt Decay, Assassin's Trophy, Silence. Slaughter Pact is actually to help you kill your Hulk. So you can like tutor it up and put it in hand, and now you have a 0-cost way to kill Hulk. You know, you just got your normal blue counter magic. You got your normal blue, like your Thrasios Tymna removal du jour. There's not like a ton to it as far as like that is concerned. That's all pretty stock. I mean, really where you start getting your layering is in the various types of piles that you assemble off of what's in your hand, what's on the board, what hate you're navigating, all of those various things. And at the end of the day, you just keep drawing cards with Tymna, keep drawing cards with Thrasios, just keep grinding, and you get there. You stop them from winning, you just keep going. So I kind of wanted to illustrate this deck because one is Hulk kind of hasn't been in the cEDH consciousness for a long time, and there's still quite a few like effective Hulk decks out there. This is definitely one of my favorites, and I have seen it piloted very well. And it can be a little bit of a challenge to pick up, but you know, reach out to Jamaican Dude. We do jokingly call him Island Time, so he's not always the fastest to respond to some. That was a dig at you. If you're listening, we'll find out soon. But reach out to him. It's his deck, and he's been playing Hulk for a long time to great effectiveness. There are some more kind of layerings, but I mean, I could be at this all day talking about it, honestly, and I really don't want to bore you. but kind of it does have like a high floor. Just keep that in mind if you get frustrated. And it does have a steep curve, but it will highly reward you for your play skill. And I can't illustrate that enough. There's not... I know Thrasios and Tymna have kind of been losing favor recently, more and more over time. I mean, they're kind of boring. Like, they're still good. They're just, you know, everybody's on red right now. And so it's good just to show them a little love. I do want to point out that that not only did Jamaican kind of come up with the deck, but Big Richie, who also is a friend of the show and has been a co-host several times, helped him come up with these Hulk piles. He was the one, I think, that pointed out the Viscera, or the Volrath Shapeshifter, and kind of found the tech for it. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the description, like down below in the comments, and or hassle Jamaican on Discord. He loves it. You should, because he didn't write a primer for this, and he needs to, because this thing's got some layering. I can also help answer a lot of questions as well. I have played these decks, and not this specific one, but I have played various Hulk decks, and I have played similar ones over the years. So yeah, have a good night. Bye.